welcome to Tale of the Dragons. You guys are the first guys we're just going through, and this is just a wrap with you. And so we'll start off with congratulations over there with promotion.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
I was not expecting it.
So you were quote unquote Bobby tonight.
Well, usually it involves testing, very little preparation, and him laughing because he watches me sweat.
How many times have you been Bobby?
I lost count. I really, truly lost count.
Describe what being Bobby is.
So you have to understand, uh, knowing somebody for a very long time. I like to prepare. My other profession is in medicine. Having been tested my whole life with passing exams, I like to be well prepared. Well, I think these guys know this, and they like to basically tell me a couple of weeks before testing occurs, at best. By the way, Adam, you're testing for your next rank, unbeknownst to me.
I don't do that.
Professor, what kind of joy do you get in that?
Nothing. I just want them to be prepared. If we feel that they're deserve to be on the next rank, and I just tell them, okay, 2 weeks here to your testing.
Well, the truth is, at a certain level, you need to be prepared at any moment in time.
This is absolutely. This is. That I was going to make a comment of that. This is absolutely true. I should have known. However, sometimes you think, maybe this year's not my year. I got a lot going on. I can't possibly be up next.
But you know that's when it's going to happen, when you have a lot going on, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
And but it's part of it. You know, you
have to do what
you're going out there to present what you know anyway.
Absolutely.
And so, as stressful as it is, but at the same time, I always feel like I'm representing my instructor. So I always want to put because he's not the one testing me. There's people on this board, some of whom I may never have met, and I want to make him proud. So I always want to make sure that I'm doing the best that I can. And everybody's training waxes and wanes, so sometimes it's not fresh in my head, and so it's very stressful.
Hanshi Mathews.
Yes, sir.
So I guess I've never really came across this yet, and I'll ask this here now, and I'll ask you again down the road. Excuse me. So how did you guys come to know each other?
Good story.
Good story.
Oh,
So, anyways, we were invited to belong to a team from the United States to go compete in Cancun. And being part of that team, we all had to have matching jackets and pants. So we all put in our orders to the guy that was setting it up. And I got my package in the mail and took out the jacket, and I'm literally holding the shoulders like this. And I'm like, Janet, did you order a jacket? Because
It doesn't even fit there.
it would have fit her, but obviously it wouldn't have fit me. So I called the guy up and I said, hey, I got the wrong jacket. He goes, yeah. He goes, this guy in Nebraska got yours. Here's his name and number, which happened to be Joe Medina. So Joe and I talked on the phone. We switched addresses. I shipped him the jacket I got. He shipped me his. So the reason for that is because we were traveling in for all different parts of the country. If you saw somebody in the uniform, you could go, hey, we're going to the same place, right? So we all could
I'll follow
recognize
you.
each other. Yeah. So we get to the resort, and I see Joe up at the counter, and I went up and started talking to him, and he goes, hey, he goes, I met another couple. Was it Houston? He goes, meeting that in Houston. Come on over to the table. So we went over to the table, and Professor and Kiyoshi and Joe and his wife were sitting there with some other people, and we just sat and had a few beers, and that was kind of the beginning of, us being together. And then we find out that we're competing against each other in the same
Oh.
division.
Your first time meeting each other, you compete against it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And so as it was, Professor took first, I took second. Of course, you couldn't tell that by when we were standing on the podium.
He was still taller than me.
I was still
I
taller.
was, the first over here, second over here, third over here. He was second, and I was on first, and he was still taller. I said,
I
man,
think they might have to stand up.
yo.
But we so we ended up hanging out the whole time we were in Cancun together.
Yep.
And
That was a great
it
time.
just kind of snowballed from there. They came, we invited them to Ohio, and they came and stayed at our place, and then they invited us here to Iowa, and we came here and stayed, and it just, like I say, it started the whole tradition of,
That's fantastic. How long has this tradition been going on?
oh my God, 9 years.
9 years.
Almost 10.
years.
Yeah, almost.
As a matter of fact, that when we met in Cancun, that's where he showed us. He did a seminar on the beach.
Yeah.
We did Seiyu, and after doing the Seiyu, he said, do whatever you want to do with this, and
So March of next year will be 10 years.
10 years.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. Very,
Yeah.
and
So
that's when we started Ohana. Ohana 8.
Ohana 8.
Ohana 8, because there was 8.
Yeah, there was 8 of us that did some traveling and hanging out together, and
We've been to Las Vegas. He had a timeshare. We stayed with him in Las Vegas, and
who has the timeshare?
I was able to get a timeshare unit in time at.
We traveled to
We went
Vegas, and then
Vegas, California,
California with the
Yep.
with
and
the
then
Hall of
Indianapolis
Fame.
a few times. And
Yeah, Indianapolis.
So how Professor, how did, and me as somebody that came into this similar to what Renshi Adam was talking about earlier, as far as the testing just looks different. It's different as far as that's the way it belongs. I kind of experienced the same thing, and we'll talk about that another time. How did you guys come upon the UKKS? I mean, to me, I look at that as like significant coming from Professor. You know that Mr. Brees died a couple of years ago, and since then they have folded. So you have a succession plan. So you want to talk about UKKS a little bit? I mean, I think it's fantastic.
Well, UKKS was formed in 1985, I believe. It's the vision of Grandmaster Harold Laranay. We call it Professor Harold Laranay, was my mentor, my instructor. He said to me, what happened if your instructor passed away? What happened to those? He called it Ronin. Ronin. That means you don't have any masters. Or how are they going to get promoted? How are they going to get their new training? Who's going to teach them? So he said, well, let's form an association wherein consists of different schools, but everybody has to train in one system, and at that time we had a taekwondo, two taekwondo stylists, and we had Silum Kung Fu, we had Shorin, no, I think it's Shotokan Karate, Patty McClintock, and Wing Chun instructor. Those people didn't have any other instructors, right? So they're not going to get, they won't get any more training. They're not going to get promoted. So we formed this association, and then they came over and tested. Well, they did our curriculum, forms, everything, and then they did a presentation to get their new rank. Like all of them were first degree black belt when they came into ours. And they came in front of Professor Barongan, myself, and two other students from Louisiana, and got promoted there. And myself, I was a second degree black belt at that time. We went to Louisiana and got my third degree there. And then with this association, we formed a board of regents. And the board of regents, they're the ones who voted other students to join the association. We have, then we start taking other Kempo stylists from Kansas City. Then we add more Shotokan style or Japanese style from Minneapolis. And then we got Carl. He was another, I can't remember what Carl was studying at that time. It was I don't know, it was praying mantis or
Something like that.
yeah, it was a Chinese stylist running for. And that's how the association formed.
Very impressive.
Yeah. And then when we formed the board, so everybody that gets promoted has to go through the board.
At what rank?
Well, at that time, most of them are second degree. The new people that came in, and I was already a third degree at that time. So they had to, and then they had to go in front of Professor Barongan for the next rank. And Brian, my son Brian, went through there. Singh, Loban went through him. Who else? Of course, Patty McClintock went to her, and there's several other martial artists. Powell, what's Powell's first name?
Harold.
Harold.
Yeah.
He went through Chan Lovan, and Perkins, Jim Perkins. So all those people, they went through the professor. And I got promoted to third. We went to Louisiana, got promoted to third from the professor, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. The last promotion I got from him before he passed away was 7th degree.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we brought in, and of course, Carl came in, Danny Mullane came in, Roger Sophie came in. Who else from the old? My ex-wife.
Nobelos?
Nobelos, yeah. My ex-wife, Diane, was a second degree under him. Yeah, at one time we had nine schools altogether.
Okay.
But after Professor, he was a 6th degree black belt at that time. And then the board got together and said, okay, what happened if Professor passed away? What are we going to do? How are we going to get promoted? What are we going to,
That's the thing. It's fantastic.
Right. So we formed the, again, the Board of Regents Roger Soapy, Danny Mullane, Carl, Bellows, and myself made a proclamation, proclamation to promote professor to higher degree. And then right after that, he passed away. Hanshi Colleen got her black belt through him also. Not through us, but from Professor Barongan. Brian Barongan, my son, my oldest son, went through it for his second degree. So there's a lot of the family that went through it. But after he passed away, I got handed as the head of the association. And we held it ever since the present.
Fantastic.
So,
Well, thank you. So that being said, I mean, I guess we'll finish on if you have somebody in your system that is so respected yet doesn't do the BALUT, where do you go from that? Let me zoom in over here. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. To Adam.
And maybe tell about BALUT.
For those who don't know.
Yeah, Adam.
BALUT is a first of all, that's not written in the bylaws that we just read. I listened to every.
I just wrote it in there.
yeah, we just wrote it in there.
I saw
I
that amendment
did
coming. Right
not see that. We got to vote on this.
We did.
I don't remember casting a vote.
Even if you were no, the rest of us said yes. Remember,
You already voted already.
2/3 majority.
Like a recount. So BALUT is a Filipino delicacy that is a partially formed. It's a duck egg that has started to become a duck, and it is normally served warm, boiled.
Oof.
There is a gentleman, having traveled with the professor to the Philippines, there's a literal, in the United States we have the ice cream man,
Yeah.
right? Earlier today, you hear the little chime and people run out. Not in the Philippines. BALUT!
Really?
BALUT! And then people run out, just like the ice cream man. And he's literally got 40 eggs in a basket, warm. And that's what it is.
How many did we bought that first time?
Enough to make Rod sick.
8. Yeah, but he ate them.
He did eat them, and
He ate 3 of them.
he did
I
eat
ate
3.
4.
I ate 1. You didn't see me.
No, we watched it the whole time.
That's good.
So yeah, needless to say, it's a texture thing, and I'm sure it's not that bad, but I can't get it out of my dang head.
No, but your wife took it without.
She's Japanese. That's
Okay. Like she told me, you went to Japan and ate raw fish. What's the difference?
the smell. I don't know.
See, there you go.
I met them for the first time. I don't like.
So,
Just trying to impress.
There was a time where it almost came up in the restaurant. It was close. It was close. I tried. But it's okay because it's not a requirement. It's not written. If it's written, it's gotta be voted on and I don't,
Lane's gonna vote for it.
Wait a minute, here, Lane.
not if Lane wants a new sword.
There he is.
Sitting in the wings. Well, gentlemen, this has been something. Tale of the Dragons. We're not sure what it looks like, but
First episode of me.
you guys are awesome. And what we're gonna do is I will come to you guys, whether it's Ohio, Minnesota, with my lovely bride as well, and we'll come see you and rap.
That's it.
and hear a martial artist story.
And you're welcome at the school anytime.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.